Oh, I hope this works pretty good. I got a brand new computer, and this is the first time I'm using it. I had everything set up on the other one. So this is okay, well, anyway, if it looks a little darker, it's because I can't find the settings to brighten things up yet. Okay. Well, it is, what day is it? Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. So I gave an update on Monday, I think, the 11th of November, about, or maybe it was last week. No, it was, I think Monday. It was like 8 days from my last competition. So it's 2 more days after that. It's in 10 days. So I wanted to talk a little about post-show binge eating blues. That's what I'm going to call this video. So I've always had a problem with binge eating. Throughout my entire life, I think ever since I can remember, from adolescence, maybe even childhood, I have a sweet tooth that is just nonstop. Like, I am a recovering addict, so I think it goes with my addict personality of all or nothing. Like, I have a sweet tooth that just does not stop. And if I have a little sweets, I want everything. I cannot stop. So I binge on sweets. So I've tried to manage that throughout my life in different ways. And one of the most successful ways, in some sense, is that ever since I was like 18 and I read the book Sugar Blues, which is a really old book from like the 60s and 70s, I went off processed sugar, white processed sugar, for years and years at a time. And that helps me stay away from white sugar items, which I think is helpful for my health and for my sugar addiction. But I do allow myself other kinds of sugar, honey or fruit sugars or artificial sugars. I try to stay away from those nowadays, now that we know a lot more about those. So even though now I'm vegan, I do allow myself honey. Like, I don't think it hurts bees to eat honey. So, and I eat fruit sugars and maybe coconut sugar and beet sugar. So those things are processed, but my sweet tooth wants something. So that's what I have been doing for quite a few years. So anyway, since I was 18 and read that book, I went off sugar for years and years and years. And then sometimes I'd go back on, and then I'd be back on sugar for a few years. Then I get sick of myself eating too much sugar, gaining way too much weight, and then going off sugar again and losing a little weight. It doesn't manage my weight completely, but it helps. That tip-top end of weight where, the last 40 pounds of weight, I think it keeps off. It doesn't keep off the first 40 pounds of weight, but the last 40 pounds of weight, I think it helps with. But anyway, so I was off sugar for like over 10 years. I went back on sugar. I went back off sugar. Anyway, I went back on sugar and then I went back off sugar like quite a few years ago now, successfully. So that's gone really well. I'm really happy with that white sugar. So, but like I said, I allow myself these other kinds of sugars. So, how else do I manage it? Dieting, bodybuilding, food planning. So this last year, starting last November 2023, I set a New Year's goal to get rid of my belly fat and get healthy for the rest of my life, because I had turned 60 and I was putting on body fat in all the wrong places, in my belly area and everywhere else, but especially there, which I have read is very unhealthy. And I did not want to die of unhealth, like my dad did. Obesity runs in my family. We put on weight very quickly. We all love food. We love to eat. It's part of our family culture. It's part of our religious culture. And we just love to eat, and we put on weight very easily and very quickly and very thoroughly. So we've all struggled with our weight our entire lives, and I have my entire life. So November 2023, I just wanted to make a goal of being healthy, getting healthy, being healthy for the rest of my life. So I just gave myself a few things to do. I had already cut out processed white sugar, and my weight was maintaining at 165 pounds, and I'm 5'2.5". So for me, that was much better than in the past, where it's been up to 195, 190, 180. Like, I have jumped all over the scale, all over, up and down and up and down, my whole life. So I had maintained a stable 165 for a few years, and I was feeling really good about that, but I was getting bigger around. I was not happy about that idea, and the idea of getting more unhealthy, and I was really eating way too much, overeating, and I was in a cycle of being unable to stop, because that's how I am. So I finally became willing to make an action from my desire, which I've had desire for years, but it's hard to act on it. So I finally, close to New Year's in November of 2023, I was able to start my new journey of getting rid of the belly fat, getting healthy, and I gave myself a few new rules to try. One was not eating after eating dinner. So I'd eat dinner, and then I'd eat all the way to bed. Go to bed with a full stomach, feeling sick, adding weight every night. So I decided to stop eating after dinner, and that really helped. I also decided to add whole, healthy, nutritious food, because I was really eating mostly processed food. I was not eating a healthy vegan diet, which is adding a lot more whole, healthy vegetables and other foods, is more healthy way to eat vegan. So I had not been doing that. So I wanted to do that. What else did I do? I didn't change how much I was working out at the time. Those were I think, major changes. I can't remember another one right now. So I started with those changes, and it really started working. Like, I lost, like, was it a half a pound a week? Like, or a quarter pound a week? Like, it was really slow, like very slow. And I was very frustrated with it. But over time, over the weeks, over a couple months, I started to really noticeably start losing my belly fat and my weight. So then I had gotten successful at that. Starting like January, February, I really started noticing that I had been really doing well with that. And I started getting leaner, and I gave myself a food plan. I went back on, did I go back on my food plan then? A bodybuilding food plan at some point, even though I wasn't bodybuilding. And just keeping the same amount of exercise I had been doing, which is going to the gym once a week, doing CrossFit once a week, and running 3 times a week. And I started looking good, feeling good. And I was like, well, what is the point of losing weight if I don't compete again in bodybuilding, which I hadn't competed in 7 years, since 2017. So I thought, well, maybe I should compete again. So then I went and talked to a person that I did hire as my coach again, a new coach, someone I knew from the past of bodybuilding, and said, I'm thinking of competing again after all these years. And he knew me from previous years competing. He said, yeah, sure. And he asked me about my diet. He asked me about how often I go to the gym. I said, once a week. He said, well, you're going to have to start bodybuilding, going to the gym workouts again. I'm like, really? I kind of thought I could do it without that. And I thought about it for a couple days, and I guess he's right. I'm gonna have, if I want to do bodybuilding, I got to do bodybuilding. So I started going to the gym again, 3 days a week, and then 5 days a week. Pulled out my old bodybuilding workout plans, got my old bodybuilding diet going, weighing and measuring food, adding those whole healthy vegetables in, broccoli, asparagus, leaf lettuce, or lettuce salads. And it started working. It worked. Started going to the gym 5 days a week, plus my CrossFit once a week, plus my running 3 times a week. It worked. I started really